All right, the Arcane series. Silco, one of the main characters, I personally have not liked and have spoken about that just because of the way I've seen him act. You have had so many comments about it. But I thought, you know what? I don't normally diagnose people in my practice. I don't think it's great for a couple reasons. Number one, I don't want people to have a label with them the rest of their life on their insurance claims if they ever use them, or any record period. And secondly, I don't want people to have that hanging over their head, that that's possibly who they are forever. But sometimes diagnoses can be good because they can help enlighten somebody to what has happened to them and how they are living in today's current world, which means they can be motivated to change, look at things in their life that they could improve and do differently, and possibly make a revolutionary shift in their life to do things in a new way. That's why therapy is valuable, no matter the diagnosis, because it gives support, it gives encouragement, it gives mentorship and leadership, and it also gives accountability to somebody about the issues in your life. But with Arcane, now this is, keep in mind, this is after season 1, episode 8. As of episode 8, not the end of Arcane, but as of episode 8, this is my professional opinion if I was going to give one. Thankfully, he's not an actual real person, so I can have fun with this, and you can give me your comments back. I believe Silco is diagnosed or would be diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. And man, we don't take that lightly in my field. It's hardly ever diagnosed. There are a lot of narcissistic people. There are a lot of them. People are very self-centered. People are very, self-indulged and think they are everything. That's narcissism. That's different than having narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, because it's a pervasive thing. It's like if I said to you, you've been kind of depressed lately, or you're going through, kind of a state of depression. That doesn't mean you're clinically diagnosed with depression, okay? Those are very different criteria. So we can go through waves and moods, but Silco is very interesting. And when I looked it up, here's what I read on narcissistic personality disorder. So just stay with me. This won't take long. A disorder in which a person has an inflated sense of self-importance. Okay, a lot of people have that, like I said. It's just, ego is a big thing. A lot of men have big egos, women too, but a lot of times with men, they just have that macho kind of sense of self and entitlement. Narcissistic personality disorder is found more commonly in men. The cause is unknown, but likely involves a combination of genetic and environmental factors. So it can be genetic and where you come from. In other words, it sometimes takes that kind of personality disorder to kind of breed another personality disorder, but very often environmental through trauma. Symptoms include an excessive need for admiration, disregard for others' feelings, an inability to handle any criticism, and a sense of entitlement. He checks the box on all of those for me so far. And obviously it needs to be diagnosed by a professional. But there are criteria in which someone has to meet this kind of diagnosis. And so good to me, man. From the beginning, it's like he seemed like he was probably a really good guy. Friends with Vander. I don't know what their past history was. Of course, I haven't found any of that out yet because I've only watched through episode 8 of season 1. And then I think almost killed by Vander because of something that went down, lost his eye, has the medicine shot he has to get in his eye. He has, I think in some sense, been trying to take over or take power because he wants to establish order and he wants to establish a community kind of in the Undercity where there is kind of a political structure in a way. He does it a little bit like a gang leader or like the mafia, but he in a way, I think, is trying to establish order so that the Undercity can function and live in a healthy way, in his mind. Now, I think he does it through extremely corrupt ways. I think he manipulates people. I think he, takes advantage of people's weakness. I think he tries to harm other people if they get in his way. If anybody crosses him, I think he shows them, I'm the one in power, and if you cross me, you will die or I will take care of you for sure. And sometimes that means through a slow bleeding death, so to speak. Just like when he went in to Marcus's house and was playing with his daughter without him even knowing he's there, and then kind of manipulating the daughter about what her dad had done, and then threatening the dad by the end, like, this is where this might go. He does it it's very aggressively, but it's passive aggressive in a way because it's kind of like, you get the hint, you know where I'm at. He's done the same thing with Jinx, okay? And I think he met her as Powder. I think he found tremendous compassion for Powder. I think he wanted to care for her the way he needed to be loved. I think he had a very traumatic past, and I think he never dealt with it, never got over it, and he's acting it out through the power and the control in how he runs things in the Undercity. And that's why I think Vander was really turned off by him. Like, your first option is to destroy. And this shimmer stuff that you're creating and producing can be used as a drug and destroy people. In other words, you get them addicted to it so you can control them because you have the product. You have the drug. The drug dealer controls the drug user, so to speak, because they have to get the drug and the drug dealer gets to decide whether they distribute it to them or not. With Jinx, perfect timing, right? She felt abandoned. She felt rejected. She had tremendous loss. She lost Vander. She lost Vi. Figured Vi had just taken off and gone away and left her because she was a Jinx. She was no good. And she needed somebody to hold on to. So she clung to Silco. And Silco, I think, this is two parts. I think in a way, loved her, had compassion for her, and wanted to take her in and show her what real love was and what real attachment was. But it's a really twisted and sick attachment, okay? That's the toxic love that's happening. And they've got this really enmeshed, codependent, toxic relationship that's evolved, at least through episode 8. And I think he's used his power over her. That's the manipulation part, where I think he's convinced her that she needs him to let her do his dirty work. That's what concerns me the most. Never his fault, always other people's fault. And if you really love me, or if you really support me or care about me, you will go do this for me. And she naturally does that for him. This is where Jinx then said, liar, took off. She was going to find Vi because she found out she was alive. He told her she was dead. He thought she was dead, to be fair, because he told Marcus, get rid of her. But still, I'm thinking, you wanted this girl's sister killed. That's not okay. And then he twists it around to where he's the savior. I saved you. Even though she's alive, it doesn't matter. She's not here for you. She's got an enforcer buddy and she's going off doing her own thing. She doesn't really need you. She just wants this thing you have, this crystal thing. Here's the diagnosis criteria for narcissistic personality disorder. You need 5 of these, 5 or more, in order to have this personality disorder, okay? A grandiose sense of self-importance, exaggerates achievements and talents, expects to be recognized as superior without commensurate achievements. He wants to be known as the guy no matter what he does. Whether he screws up, whether he does well, it doesn't matter. He wants to be known as the one who is superior to everybody else. That's just number 1. Number 2 is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. He is obsessed with fantasies of power, with fantasies of love, with Jinx and having this attachment and having these people underneath him. He loves the adoration or the fear. Even he loves the fear of people regarding him. Number 3, believes that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with other special or high status people. He wants to be one of the higher status people to finally be recognized for who he is, okay? And that he's special. Because right now he's just seen as this thug, gang leader, mafia dude in the Undercity who really doesn't matter. We need to try to wipe him out. So he's fighting against that. Wants to be known as special. That's 3. You only need 5 of these. Number 4, requires excessive admiration. Kind of ties into the last one, but excessive admiration. He needs to be known as the guy. I think he wouldn't need as much admiration if people followed him more and did what he said. I don't know if he's as big on the, maybe he is big on the admiration, because it's like he wants to, you know that quote, leaders create more leaders, wannabes just create more followers. That's by Rick Warren out of Saddleback Church in Utah or something. I love that quote because true leaders create more leaders. They build people up to be leaders. Wannabes just create followers. And I think he creates followers all the time. So maybe he does have that excessive admiration thing. Number 5, has a sense of entitlement, unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment or automatic compliance with his or her expectations. He has entitlement where he just thinks he's owed this because of the harm he's been caused. But he also thinks he's smarter than everybody else, and he knows how to turn this ship around and make it happen if you just listen to me and follow me. Number 6 is interpersonally exploitative. Interpersonally exploitative. Takes advantage of others to achieve his or her own ends. Do we need to talk about this? No. He exploits everybody. Just like when he went in and did the gas from the Undercity to those leaders and was like, I'll show you what. And I think people will tell me, he was just showing them, don't forget where you came from. You're up here breathing good air. Those people down there are breathing bad air. I have always kept myself immune to all of the air. So he doesn't need the gas mask. They do. But he uses it in a powerful way to where I can kill you if I want to, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to save you at the last second. Number 7, lacks empathy, is unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. Here's where I would say this is questionable, because I think he does have empathy for Jinx. I think he has tremendous empathy. I also think he had strong feelings for Vander. And I don't think he necessarily wanted Vander wiped out, but I think he needed Vander wiped out in order to accomplish his cause. But he has tremendous empathy for Jinx, and so I would cancel this one out. Number 8 is envious of others or believes that others are envious of him. Is envious of others. I think he is envious of others, but I might even cancel this one out too. I might even say, yeah, I could let this one go, because he really is focused on his own agenda. I don't think he has as much jealousy as he does rage and anger at people because they won't listen to him and follow him. So I'd probably cancel that out. So that's 6 out of 8 so far. Shows arrogant, number 9, shows arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes. Yes, he's arrogant all the time. He's constantly arrogant in the way he swags and the way he walks, and he has these people that do all his dirty work for him. So I would say 7 out of 9 of those are met, and that by far exceeds the 5 that are needed. Now you get to tell me what you think with Silco. I think as of this point, now I will change my mind if I see something different. But I wouldn't walk into office and say, this is who you are. I'd walk in and talk with him about his purpose and his meaning and the reason he acts or does these things. And where'd it come from? I would dig into the trauma. The trauma is the key to him. The trauma created the attachment break, which made him then say, I can never trust anybody again. But I could love Jinx and give that love that I never got so that she feels it and get the loyalty in return. That's a double bonus there. So if I'm going to diagnose Silco, of course, it's going to be narcissistic personality disorder. Season 1, episode 8. I can't wait to see what happens after this. And you tell me where I'm wrong, and check us out on Patreon. The VIP tier has all unedited episodes of ARCANE. That is the best place to go to see all ARCANE. The edited versions come out on YouTube a few days later, but the Patreon people get each episode I record as soon as it's out, fully unedited. Come over there and join it. We have a chat room over there for ARCANE as well. I just can't wait till the next episode. And I appreciate you for commenting. Good or bad, give me your best shot. Remember, it's not real therapy. It's just Tom breaking down ARCANE. Mental health matters. Never forget it. We'll see you on the next Reaction Therapy.